Hello you auto-fellatio bots, Jim Sterling here, and this is Transformers Devastation.
Come to save the day, I presume.
Probably shouldn't have started this with a cutscene.
Stop you from destroying the city. Stop me?
It's a good cutscene though.
Oh, Prime! You have no idea what you're really up against, do you?
Frank Welker still got it.
Who's really behind this? This is our home now, Megatron. We should respect it.
As does Peter
No
Cullen.
matter, Prime. I have no interest in destroying Earth, but I'm not opposed to making a few, shall we say, improvements.
See, I don't care how old Frank Welker is, he's still got that fucking laugh down pat. Anyway, so this is Transformers Devastation. Hopefully, probably shouldn't have started with a cutscene. I know people get annoyed if I talk over it too much. But anyway, this is by Platinum Games, came out yesterday. I actually beat it yesterday as well. It's not very long, for those of you who value length a lot. It's, you know, on the short end of the generic 5 or so hours to complete thing. It's got some nice challenge modes to it though, and a lot of collectible stuff, so... And plus, I find it fun enough. I'd replay levels and things. The combat is really quite nice. It's done by Platinum's, I guess, B team, the people who did Korra, but it is good. It's fast-paced combat. I love the way they integrate transformations into the battle. You know, once you've done a melee combo enough times, you then get a chance to turn into a car or whatever vehicle you are, and then just smash into them. It's cool, like in this with Bumblebee here. Different characters do different things with their cars. It's a lot of fun. It's very fast. It's very responsive. The melee combat especially. There's ranged shooting as well, which I didn't like at first, but once you collect more weapons and things, you get some really good things. My advice, it's a late game item, but as soon as you get the loudspeaker, equip it and use it often, because it's bloody awesome. It makes melee combat actually way more easy, but you don't get that until... You get weapons sometimes themed around characters you defeat, so you don't really get it until you fought Soundwave. But anyway, this was like the first encounter with Megatron, pretty easy fight. This is another cutscene here. Looks gorgeous, as I'm sure you can tell.
What in Cybertron's name?
He's off.
Autobots, Megatron is headed for that steel tower. Move out.
So yeah, it's wonderful that they got Frank Welker back, they got Peter Cullen back, they've got the, you know, what's commonly known as the G1, Generation 1 visuals and everything, made it look like a cartoon. And the attempt to push for authenticity in terms of nailing that feel of the 80s cartoon is I mean, it's impressive. You get these chests, they're dotted around each map, and you get different weapons with different rarities. So there's a lot of nice collectible stuff going on here. This is just a general, this isn't a boss fight or anything, this is a general fight against regular enemies. It's just, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I don't know if by the time this video is rendered and uploaded whether or not my review will be up on thedualposition.com, but a review is coming or has come. If it has come, I'll put a link in the description. So we'll see. All the weapons that the characters have, like we've got Sideswipe here with, is it Sideswipe? Or, I'm recording this early in the morning, I hope I haven't had a horrible Autobot mistake. Anyway, but he's fighting with the twin swords. But weapons aren't unique to each character. As you collect more, you can collect and equip up to 4 weapons at a time. One weapon has to be melee, one weapon has to be ranged. The other 2 can be any combination. I normally go with 1 melee and then get 3 different ranged weapons. All of which are unlocked throughout the game. There's kind of a element of chance to what you get. You can get, you know, common and uncommon and rare weapons with different stats. There's a really nice upgrade system, very similar to like what you get in Dynasty Warriors, where you just take one weapon as the base, then sacrifice other weapons to load them into that one and level it up. There's a tech system where you put in money and play a little QTE thing to get nice passive upgrades that you can equip onto each transformer. So yeah, there's a lot to tinker around with. and at its base, it's just a really fun combat game. As you can tell from where I'm dodging and this, you dodge and get the slow motion. Oh, hang on.
For the day I could fight you all myself. Prove my worth to Megatron.
Fucking Starscream. And they actually went for someone who tried to do a... I mean, no one's ever going to replace Chris Latta as Starscream. But so many modern Starscreams go for the kind of that low hiss kind of voice. Whereas they actually went for a higher pitched, a more Starscream voice, which I much prefer. You know, War for Cybertron was cool, but they went for that hiss, the hissy Starscream. Here, they've really gone for the screechy Starscream. You know, it's not a perfect Chris Latta, but it's damn good. I mean, for me, the best Starscream, my performance in this fight, by the way, leaves a lot to be desired. I don't like playing as Grimlock, surprisingly. It's just, he doesn't quite have the flow I felt that the other characters had. Anyway, the best post-Latta Starscream for me is Tom Kenny, who most famously plays SpongeBob SquarePants. But it's funny, if you add a nastier edge to SpongeBob's voice, you get a pretty damn good Starscream. But I think they only ever used him for Transformers Animated. And then I guess maybe they didn't quite think he was serious enough for things like War for Cybertron and other stuff that followed. But I mean, Tom Kenny's a damn good actor, and he could have easily played him in other things. He'd have done really well here, I think. But whoever they did get to play him here still did a damn good job, I feel. I mean, I'd always like to play Starscream myself. But, you know, I doubt that'll ever happen. I'm not that good. But anyway, here I am fighting him. He's probably the toughest fight I had. Not this one. You fight the different Decepticons multiple times. There's a fight with him later in the game that I think, for me, was the hardest boss of the game. In fact, everything after him was a lot easier for me. I mean, mileage may vary. You may find him easy if you play it yourself, but he's very fast. His null ray is a pain in the ass. But of course, as I say, you get weapons themed on characters. Over here, I needed to whack a heel on myself. And you can get the null ray and equip it yourself and use it. It's also a pretty good weapon. It's good up until the late game, because certain weapons inflict status effects, and the null ray does, as the null ray's always done. You know, it temporarily immobilizes enemies, which can be useful. Especially, one thing I like about this game a lot is that boss fights, shitty titty boom damage here. One thing I like about this game is that bosses can be just as affected by status effects. I've used effect twice, that's terrible. But they're just as prone to status effects as you are, which I like, because so many games fucking, you know, they'll protect the bosses. It's one thing I never liked about some of the Final Fantasies. Yeah. So unless it's something big like Devastator or Menasor, then you can use status effects to your advantage, even against, you know, guys like Megatron and whatnot. Here we are fighting Insecticons. Damn right, Insecticons are in this. They went more for the, I guess, the mindless Insecticons. All the clones. You don't actually get to see, as far as I can tell, the original Scrapnel/Shrapnel Kickback and Bombshell, so a bit of a shame, but they're still cool to see them. I'm a big fan of the Insecticons. I always love them. And I've got when they brought out the 20th anniversary remakes of the original Insecticon Transformers, I made sure I got those. They're in my closet. I should get them out and put them up somewhere. And then I've got not much room to put stuff anywhere. So I'm showing off a bit of the ranged combat here, and of course we're playing as Prime. I think this is the last slice of footage we've got. I did have another piece of. I did have a boss fight against Soundwave, but it was the last time you fight Soundwave, and it's a pretty late game, so I didn't want to throw it in here. Now, one thing I didn't learn until later was you can do almost like a butt stomp, where you jump in the air, transform, and slam down as the car. What I didn't know is if you keep the button held down, the transformation button held down after you've stomped and landed on an enemy, at least as Prime, possibly as the others. I only learned it late when I was playing as Prime. You can, oh, that's a big punch. You can rev your engine and just grind the wheels on the enemy while they're on the floor before speeding off. It's actually a lot of fun to do. And again, all attacks work on everything, so even boss characters, unless of course, as I say, it's a big Gestal transformer. It's some good stuff. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. I mean, I with it being the Cora guys, and with Activision being Activision, and with it not getting a huge amount of promotion, I don't think people held out much hope for this one. I know I was tentatively eager to play it, you know, had my worries, but I'm surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Now, it's not like it's perfect, there's some looseness to it, and then the combat can be really chaotic, so it can be hard to dodge things and see where attacks are coming from. Some of it I'll take on myself, sometimes I am just rubbish at dodging, and then also I feel like the slowdown almost doesn't give you enough time, because, you know, it's all about getting a long enough combo and getting those vehicle attacks in, but the slowdown doesn't give you that much time, doesn't give you enough time to really do it, and enemies will power through your combos, like, easy. So unless you're really on top of the dodging, it can be pretty damn tough. Or you can move away and hit thin air and then hit them with the vehicle attack.
You beat me, Master. Now, see if you can beat me.
So there we go, there's Menasor. He is the other Gestal, I always say Gestal, is the other combiner, shall we say, that appears alongside Devastator in this. Had some Devastator footage as well, but it was halfway through the fight and it wasn't very good footage, but there you go. As with all my console things, you know, I've pre-recorded this on the PlayStation 4. I use their share feature because it's just easier to do. And I'm talking now in the past, well, in the future, from where I was here. Yeah, all the boss fights are pretty cool. They all have nice attacks. A lot of them themed around how they, you know, what the characters are. You know, you fight Soundwave. He brings out everything. Like, not just your usual Laserbeak and Ravage and Rumble, but you get fucking Buzzsaw coming out, stuff like that. I didn't see Ratbat in my fight. I wonder if he is in it. I didn't see Ratbat. I got a soft spot for Ratbat. It barely ever used. But yeah, their Soundwave of course sounds like Soundwave with the vocodery voice and everything. It's cool. I feel like I've said everything that I need to say. Oh yeah, this bit was horrible for me. This threw me for a loop so much. I was like, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. There's a lot of extra challenges if you do want to keep playing it. I think I already said that. That became a fairly common tactic of mine, was the old, if you ride around for a while, you pick up speed, you get a visual cue. With Optimus Prime, it's the fire coming out of the pipes on his truck, and then do like a big uppercut out of the vehicle mode. It's a good way of... you get a quick vehicle transformation attack that way, and you can avoid a lot of trouble. Because like I said, they can power through. Let's see, get out of the way. There we go. And why I'm cheering myself on, because I know how this ends. I've seen how it ends. So yeah, like, everything about this makes the old Transformer fan in me rather happy. It's got a sense of authenticity to it. The story is very... I mean, it's dumb and there's not a lot to it. But then, when did a G1 story have anything decent going for it? I mean, you know, I love Transformers. I can still watch the old cartoons today, but let's not pretend they were narratively accomplished. But it's still fun, and the performances are great, you know. Not just Colin and Welker, but everyone else who they've got to play. Whether they're original voice actors or people doing impressions, it's all good. There's my dog going right at the end. But yeah, that's it. That's Transformers Devastation. I'll let this cutscene play out. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be back later with something else. Bye, by the way.
I did not see that coming.
Oh, Starscream! You survived. Everyone into the space bridge! To Cybertron! Except you, Starscream. You stay here and burden the Autobots with your incompetence!
Laugh while you can, Megatron! But I will laugh last!
They have gone through the space bridge. After them.